I had planned my daughter Ava's 7th birthday party for weeks. She'd asked for a unicorn-themed party with a sprinkle cake, and I'd promised to make it special because that's what I never had growing up. When you've been raised in a household where you were constantly overlooked, you don't repeat the cycle. You break it. So, I did everything myself. I saved every spare dollar. I worked double shifts. I stayed up late baking the cake by hand. 3 tiers, pastel layers inside, topped with edible glitter, and a hand-molded fondant unicorn. It wasn't perfect, but Ava beamed when she saw it. She hugged me so hard, whispering, "Mommy, it's the prettiest cake in the whole world." My sister Madison, on the other hand, rolled her eyes the moment she walked into the house. She had on a sleek designer outfit, a condescending smirk, and an aura of superiority she wore like perfume. Madison had always been the golden child, the one our parents bragged about, protected and spoiled. Me? I was the girl who settled. She wasn't even supposed to be at the party. She had RSVP'd now, but decided to drop in anyway, dragging her 2 kids along without warning, and complaining the entire time. She complained about the decorations, the food, the fact that we didn't have an espresso machine. Then she saw the cake, and I knew instantly that same bitter jealousy she used to wear when I won a spelling bee, or when I finally bought my first car. Ava was too busy laughing with her friends to notice, but I felt it like static in the air. And then it happened. I went to grab the party favors from the hallway. I was gone 5 minutes, just 5. And when I came back, the cake was gone. The pedestal was empty. The room went quiet. Ava turned around. "Mommy, where's my cake?" she asked with the softest, most heartbreaking confusion. I turned toward Madison, who was holding a trash bag with frosting smudges on her hand. She smirked again. It fell. Slipped right off the table. Total mess. "You're welcome for cleaning it up." There was no cake on the floor, no broken platter, just crumbs at the edge of the trash bin. My daughter started crying. Not a tantrum, no yelling, no stomping, just the kind of cry that crushes your ribs. Silent, trembling, confused, like something beautiful had been stolen from her and she couldn't understand why. And Madison? Madison actually had the nerve to say, "Oh, come on, it's just sugar. Be grateful I didn't let the kids get food poisoning from your DIY disaster." I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I didn't argue. I just smiled. The kind of smile I used to wear when our parents humiliated me at dinner parties and I pretended not to care. The kind of smile that means you've gone too far this time. Madison walked out with her children shortly after, smug and unbothered. She didn't even say goodbye to Ava. But that night, while cleaning up frosting from the edge of the counter, I looked at my laptop at the RSVP for Madison's upcoming birthday gala, a rooftop event she'd been planning for months. She hadn't formally invited me, of course. She just posted about it like I wasn't part of her life anymore. So, I sent her something she couldn't ignore. And it wasn't a text. It was 24 feet wide and it lit up above her street by sunrise. The billboard went up at exactly 6 a.m. right across from the entrance of Madison's gated neighborhood. It was impossible to miss. Bright, bold, and beautifully brutal. The photo I chose, a high-res snapshot of Ava's ruined birthday party. The moment her little face crumpled into heartbreak, the glitter balloons deflating behind her like her joy, and across the top in shimmering white letters, some people throw out cakes, others throw out family. Underneath in smaller but sharper font, Happy Birthday, Madison. RSVP never. By 8 a.m. her phone must have been exploding. My inbox already was. Family members, her snobby socialite friends, even some acquaintances I didn't know remembered me. They all started messaging me. Some were horrified, some sent laughing emojis, some simply said, "Finally." You see, Madison had built her entire adult identity on curated perfection. She hosted charity galas she barely donated to, posted unfiltered selfies edited beyond belief, and wrote captions like "family is everything" beneath pictures that never included me or Ava. So, imagine her reaction when the world outside her pristine filter saw the truth. I expected backlash. I expected her to storm to my house, yell, cry, threaten to sue. But instead, she posted nothing. Radio silence, which for Madison was louder than any scream. I later found out through one of her friends, who apparently loved to gossip more than she loved Madison, that she canceled the rooftop gala, said she wasn't feeling well. Translation: she was humiliated. But that wasn't the end of it. Oh, no. 2 days later, I got a call from our mother. Her voice was sharp, biting. "What the hell did you do?" I her rant. Apparently, her bridge club saw the billboard. Apparently, Madison's husband's boss saw it, too. "You've embarrassed the family," she shouted. "You mean the family that didn't even call Ava to say happy birthday?" I asked calmly. There was silence. A heavy, guilty silence. Then she muttered, "You've always been dramatic." Ah, yes, the golden line. The same phrase she used when Madison ruined my prom dress. When she took my college savings. When she told Ava to lose a little baby fat. I hung up, and this time I didn't cry afterward. Something in me had shifted because for the first time in years, I didn't feel like the forgotten one. I didn't feel small. I didn't feel like the girl who had to beg for scraps of kindness from a family that only cared about optics. I felt powerful. Not because of the revenge, but because of the clarity. Ava and I started a new tradition. Every Sunday, we bake a small cake together. She calls it our just because cake. One day, while icing a new unicorn design, she asked, "Mommy, do you think Aunt Madison is still mad?" I paused, then smiled. "Maybe, but she finally knows how much you matter." Ava nodded and licked frosting from her finger. "Good, because I matter a lot." That night, I got a delivery to our door. A single silver envelope with a fancy wax seal. Inside was an invitation. Clears throat, "You are cordially invited to Madison's rescheduled birthday brunch." At the bottom, a handwritten note. "I hope you're done being petty." I laughed so hard I nearly dropped the envelope in the sink, but I didn't toss it out. I RSVP'd. And let's just say I had one final surprise. I RSVP'd yes, not because I was ready to forgive, but because I knew exactly how I wanted this story to end. The rescheduled birthday brunch was being held at a luxury rooftop garden downtown. Madison always liked to throw her money where her ego lived, surrounded by Instagrammable walls of flowers, overpriced champagne, and people who clapped when she walked in. But this time, the buzz wasn't the same. I could feel it the moment I arrived. The whispers had already started. The billboard was still fresh in everyone's mind, and now the guests were just waiting, watching, wondering what I'd do. I walked in wearing a sleek white jumpsuit, nothing too loud, but impossible to ignore. Ava walked beside me in a sparkly pale gold dress she chose herself, holding a small gift bag with a unicorn sticker on it. Her idea. Just in case Aunt Madison's being nice today. I smiled at her, but said nothing. Ava had hope. I had strategy. When Madison finally entered, 30 minutes late, of course, the room paused. She was wearing a fitted green dress, her hair coiled tightly into a bun that screamed tension. Her eyes scanned the crowd until they landed on us, me and Ava. She smiled tightly. "Oh, you made it." I smiled wider. "Wouldn't miss it." We both knew this was a performance. She wasn't hosting a birthday brunch, she was doing damage control, trying to repair the perfect image cracked wide open by a billboard she never saw coming. Champagne was poured, waiters circled with canapes, but you could feel the tension under the sparkle. I could see her friends avoiding her gaze, their smiles too sweet. And when it was time for the toast, Madison cleared her throat and her glass with forced cheer. "I just want to thank you all for coming. It means so much to me to be surrounded by love, family, and forgiveness." She glanced at me. "And second chances." She raised her glass to me and everyone awkwardly followed. I stood. I didn't raise my glass. I didn't smile. I simply said, "Ava, would you like to give your aunt her gift?" Madison blinked, caught off guard as Ava skipped over and handed her the bag. Inside was a unicorn-shaped stress ball, soft, glittery, and completely ridiculous. Madison pulled it out with confusion and Ava said brightly, "In case you feel like throwing something again." The room fell into a stunned silence. Madison turned a strange shade of red. "What?" Ava looked up at her with all the innocent truth of a child. "Like my birthday cake. Mommy said it was okay to tell the truth if someone lies first." More silence, then a quiet gasp from one of the guests. A few looked down into their mimosas. Madison's husband stood frozen by the mimosa bar. I stepped forward slowly. My voice was calm but clear. "I came here today not because I wanted to celebrate you, Madison, but because I wanted everyone here to know the truth. For years I've been quiet. I let you throw away more than cake. You threw away kindness. You threw away accountability. You threw away family." Her jaw tightened. "Are you really doing this here?" I leaned in just enough that only those closest could hear. "No, Madison. You did this here. I just brought the receipts." I pulled out my phone and held it up. A video began to play. Ava's party, the ruined cake, Madison's voice laughing, saying, "She's lucky anyone even showed up to this sugar fest." Then the sound of the trash lid slamming shut. I didn't need to say another word. I put my phone away. Ava took my hand again. We turned and left. But just before I stepped through the doors, I turned back and called out, "You wanted the spotlight. Now you have it." That was the last time I saw Madison. The fallout was quiet, but complete. Sponsors pulled from her influencer campaigns. Her friends stopped tagging her. Her husband moved out 3 weeks later. Turns out a perfectly staged life can't survive when the curtain gets ripped down. As for me, I stopped asking for a seat at their table. I built my own. 6 months later, Ava's next birthday party was held at a beautiful venue with everything she dreamed of. Ponies, a bounce castle, even a mini magic show, all paid for by the proceeds from the blog I started. One that shared stories of women rising after being erased. My first post, the day my sister threw away more than cake. It went viral. Sometimes Ava still asks me if Madison will ever say sorry. I tell her the truth. Maybe, but we don't wait for apologies anymore. We just grow bigger than the people who tried to shrink us. And every year when we light Ava's candles, I whisper, "You are not disposable. You never were." That is a tradition no one will ever throw away again.